Good morning. It's Monday morning and I've got the nerves now. I'm in on Wednesday for my operation on Thursday and in bed this morning. I'm looking down all the time because I've got a few notes that I'm just going to be looking at all the time. I'm going to go real quick, really, thinking about it. I'm not going to go rambling on because it's all a bit depressing, I suppose. Some people might find it useful, maybe. The last year has been horrible, hasn't it? Possibly a little bit worse for my family, maybe. Oh, I don't know. Possibly worse for other families, I'd say. Let's go back then. Before COVID, which was March 2020, was when it really picked up pace. And I think at the end of March, we went on lockdown. March the 3rd is my 50th birthday, and I went to Florida Keys with me, Leanne, John Bridge. Gotta take John Bridge with you. Jackie Bridge, and my friend Nick Reese and Dixie. Bit of a strange bag. Well, not strange bag. Bit of a mixed bag, but we went to Florida Keys because that's a good place to go and party, really, and enjoy my 50th. Drinking, eating, playing around on boats, and that's exactly what we did. But it was during that time where I was getting pains in my chest, just there, not my chest, in indigestion-y sort of area. So I remember the first time in my life having to stop off and get Rene's or whatever they're called. Yummies, is it? Tummies. And I've always eaten as much as I like, drunk like a fish, but never really had indigestion problems before. So that was a bit strange. But anyway, put it down to indigestion and just enjoying my life too much. That was March 2020. So we flew back from Florida, and at Miami Airport, there's a couple of people wearing masks, and I was thinking, oh God, they're a bit weird. Look at them, taking it all a bit serious. But I didn't know what we were flying back to, really. So we got back to the UK. Well, within 2 weeks, a week even, I think, a week, and there was a lockdown. Of course, I'm still not knowing I'm unwell by then. It's just what the hell are we going to do with Driven and the taxis, and so we handled all that best we could. And try and think. That was March, April, May. Really, just everyone's on lockdown. I don't know if everyone can remember, but it was the first lockdown, you know. And yeah, nothing really happened as far as my illness was concerned. It was sometime in June when I was in the Driven taxi office, and Marcus, one of the drivers, said that I looked a bit yellow and I was complaining of these pains. And he said, I know exactly what that is. My wife, Joanna, had it. You've got gallstones, is what he says. Fair play to him. Well, that was it, really. I thought I'll go to the doctors now. The doctor said the same, really. She thought there's every chance I could have a gallstone stuck in my gallbladder. So, x-ray time then. You have the x-ray then where when you're having a baby, if you're a female. And there was about 3 guys in and out like yo-yos trying to find out what they couldn't really find out. They couldn't see on the x-ray whether there was a gallstone or not in the bile duct. So they put me onto another x-ray then. Oh, that was the horrible one. I've only ever had this once, this x-ray. That's the one in the tube, you know. Oh, claustrophobic. Hated that. But anyway, that one came back and they couldn't really tell off that one. So I think it's the, don't quote me, the MRI scan. I've had loads of those, I think. But that was the one, it was a bit more of a 3D one where they could tell that I had a tumor on the head of my pancreas. So that's, when did I find out that? I found out that in Actually, it was August when that was diagnosed. So my wedding anniversary was in the 18th of July, and that's the last time I had a drink. I had 2 pints of lager and half a bottle of champagne with Leanne. I haven't drunk since the 18th of July. So, okay, the bad news is I got cancer. The problem was I had pancreatic cancer, and a little bit of Googling, didn't take me long to realise that my position was absolutely terrible. So anyway, the first thing I had to do, I was jaundice, so I had to go to Bridgend Hospital and they put a stent in for me. After a week I was getting more and more yellow and the stent didn't work, and the jaundice was more of an issue than the cancer really. It would become a real danger, you know. There's only a certain amount of time you can be jaundiced and that'll finish you off. So it got quite bad and I was really ill, and I wasn't rushed in, I rushed myself in. I was told to get into Marston Hospital. I was 8 days in Marston Hospital just to get well enough to be able to take my stent out and put a metal one in, a more robust one that'll work. I'm not sure why they didn't put the metal one in first. There'll be a reason. So anyway, 8 days in Marston Hospital. I loved it. We had great fun. I was on a ward with, there might as well have been Evel Knievel and Eddie Kidd on the ward, because they were all, not all of them, but there's about four out of 6 of us were motorbike accidents. So yeah, and I was like the cancer guy I was on the wrong ward. So anyway, I had 8 days in Marston Hospital. I enjoyed that actually. The food was good. And when I was well enough then to have my stent removed and the new one put back in, they did it on the 8th day and I was sent home. I was in horrible pain then, and it was horrible. So anyway, I got the proper stent in, and over the next few days I started to become a normal colour. So that was the first thing tackled with, that my bile duct was opened up by this stent and I was able to digest food properly. So then in September I started my chemotherapy. Because of my age, they said they're going to give me the strongest one possible, which is great. Obviously it'll work more the stronger it is. So straight into the chemotherapy. Great big bags, about that big. Lots of people know all about things like this now. I forgot to tell you, they had to put a PICC line in. It's called a PICC line, and it's something that goes into your arm and it stays there through the whole period of your treatment. It goes into your arm and it's fed through the vein and drops down into the lung, and it just dangles there, I think. And that's where they give you all the chemotherapy and give you anything you need. Instead of injecting you every time you go, they just clip it to this PICC line, it's called. So that was part of me for, I don't know, 3 or 4 months really. So I went through the chemotherapy. After the first bout of chemotherapy, it was so strong. It hit me for 6. I had more problems. Rushed into hospital again, into Bridgend Hospital. And that was the start, if you remember. This is September, October. COVID raised its ugly head again, and it was more deadly. It was more serious, I think, this time round. People were dying quicker. So it was a risk me going to hospital, but I had to go into hospital. You know, the chemotherapy had wiped me out, basically. So I was 8 days again there. It's always 8 days. I was 8 days in Bridgend Hospital in my own room. That was not very nice because there was no one else to... I just didn't like it in my own room. I prefer to be on the ward, I do. As long as I got the TV remote control. So, where was I? Bridgend Hospital, in my own room, and they got me through that again. Thank you very much, brilliant. Food's not as good in Bridgend as Marston, so, but don't worry about that. Got over all that, and back out of hospital, back on the chemo. They had to reduce my chemotherapy. I think it was about 15% less strength, so I was able to deal with what it throws at you. So basically, I finished off the chemotherapy, and it was terrible. It was horrible. It was hard. I spent a lot of time in bed. Just don't eat. That's why you lose so much weight. It was really horrible, and my mindset was that I'm in big trouble anyway. So I'm going through all this, and the odds of me surviving are very slim anyway. So it's a grim place to be, really. So that was my chemotherapy. So I had at the end of my chemotherapy, I got through all that, and you have another scan to see the progress. So from that scan, they could see that the treatment had been working, and my tumor had shrunk a little bit. I've only got a 2 centimeter tumor, and it shrunk like 0.5 centimeter sort of thing, as far as I could tell, but it's going in the right direction. So that was a real encouragement, especially for Leanne. Yeah, and me, I suppose. I thought, oh, we're going in the right direction. So over to the radiotherapy. That was nowhere near as bad as the chemotherapy. Lasted 5 weeks. It was more intense, 5 days a week in Velindre. I had a little spell of anxiety where there was some sort of sickness tablet they were giving me. That was horrible. I don't want to get that anxiety feeling again. I was waking up at 5 in the morning and driving around because I couldn't relax. Yeah, it was horrible. So out of the radiotherapy, that was it, really. I gotta look down at my notes now. I've done my radiotherapy. It was only 5 weeks, which took me up to April this year, actually. So it's been a long year of treatment. I had my last radiotherapy on the 12th of April. So after that, I was told that there's been a lot of disruption on my insides, and everything's got to heal, and then they will do another scan and then see where I am in terms of being able to have this operation. They were unable to operate at the start, so this is the plan, was to have the treatment in the hope that it can move things down there or kill things or be able to do the operation. So anyway, Rat fans, I had a phone call from Velindre to say that I've had my scan at the end of all my treatment, and from the scan, the surgeons have agreed that they will trial operate. So trial operation means that they're going to give it a try. They're going to open me up and see how bad it is there, or knowing my luck, everything will be all right and sew me back up and I can get on with things. Come on. Yeah, I'm pretty damn lucky. I didn't realize this because it was been bad enough anyway. Who the hell wants to know all the real truth of it? But only 5% of people in my position get to have the operation. So that's 95% of people. They die within the 5 years of being diagnosed. I could still be in that stat, mind, of course. I've only a year in. But they've agreed to do my operation, which is great. What else? No, with the operation, it's a 10-hour job. It's a biggie. And 50% of people will go on to have a normal life. The other 50% then will have various problems. Whichever side of the fence I go, the problem side or the normal side, I'll tackle it. The problems I'll deal with, like I've dealt with the problems up until now. But I won't be surprised if I'll go and have a normal life and be swimming, and I'm not going to do any running. swimming, walking. I'm not sure if I'll drink again. I'm not sure if I want to. I don't think this has been very good, really, but I've given it a try. The few things I'd like to say is Lara and Morgan have done, a bit upset now, done their A-levels through COVID. Blimmin' Nora. That's it, guys. There is one thing. Leanne has not left my side. Incredible. Okay. Thank you very much, everyone. I hope you understand a little bit about what's happened. See you in a few days, hopefully. Thank you.